This is The Daily Divide.
If you think about government, right, and it's a commonly asked question, debate, you know, the different wings, so to speak, have different opinions on it. But I just ask you personally, I guess, are you for big government or are you for minimal?
I think that it's obviously an interesting question. I think you kind of have to divide it towards more economic big government and social big government, because I think there's a huge difference there when it comes to, I believe that the government's role in your personal freedoms and your personal liberties and what you do in your own home is that of only your own business, right? It doesn't concern the state. When it comes to economic matters, I believe that the government has a role of instituting a form of a welfare state that helps the most vulnerable in our communities, to give them the best chance they can to have an equitable life compared to people that might have been born into wealth or have much larger amounts of wealth. So I think there's two different differences there. So I don't want to say that I am for big government, and people, I'm not saying you, but people take a hold of that and go, well, you believe in personal. I honestly believe you have a right to own a gun. Like, obviously, assault rifle is, it's a different debate, but there are nuances in this debate. So I don't want to make it sound like that I am for big government. Therefore, I don't know, police should just barge into your doorways and arrest you because you had a game patch in your house, regardless of whether or not you wore it outside of the house, stuff like that.
Well, I didn't think we'd go down that avenue, but I guess, I guess for me is like, I'm very, as less government as possible, and what I mean by that is when you think of it in a way that how things are done. So it's like regulation. Like regulation should be as minimal as possible, whilst maintaining the level of there needs to be some form of, what's the word?
Restraint?
Supervision, I guess, by somebody, an agency or government, or just a party that is solely interested in, say, the welfare of the people doing it, or the people that may be affected by it. But I do absolutely look at it in a way of minimal government, so minimal regulation and building houses and the way you can do business, as long as, of course, the business adheres to the laws set by the state, because I think obviously law and order is a very important thing. But I think some things are blown out of proportion.
I think that you made I think the debate started because you made your comment that you believed that, and you retracted it gratefully, but it made me giggle a bit when you said that if you had your way, the only public servants would be the 120 parliamentarians sitting in Parliament building, which doesn't take into account all the people that write the bills, NZDF, and all the public workers, which you retracted, which I support. I sometimes don't think about what I say, so.
Yeah, so I guess in the heat of the moment, I said that, but what I will go back to what I was saying, and I'll clarify what I meant.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is I didn't mean just the parliamentarians, but I mean like NZDF, very important people, of course, throughout the organisation.
Not important enough to give them proper homes to stay in, but important.
Well, I'm not going to go there, but the police force, very important fire brigade, of course,
You know,
very important.
leaving the police force out of, you know, the debate with gun control, but, you know, carry on.
Well, the thing is, you know, but that, that's not what we're talking about. And we can come back to that at some stage and we can discuss that further. But I'll just finish my point.
I was being disingenuous, so I apologize. Carry on.
You got ambulance, not completely government. I don't know how much of it is. I believe they're volunteers. A lot of the fire brigades volunteers. But what I mean is you've got a lot of government employees that I think we could do without, and we could save money on the tax bill that is charged to the citizens of this country because of these things.
I think you're going into the economics of the economic big government. I kind of want to make this differential now before we go into that big discussion. So for social independence and social government overreach, do you believe that that everybody has an individual right to do what to a degree? You can't say, the old saying, you can't say there's a bomb in an airport. There are consequences to that, but personal freedom to what you want to do with your body, what you can do in your house, and what you believe in, what you can say. Obviously, there are some consequences to what you say. If you say, it's common sense. It's common sense, really, but within the degree of common sense.
I
do.
guess that's a sort of that's sort of a hard thing, because I get what you're saying. It's yes to the majority of it, but then there's also the side of, I'm a pro-life guy, and I know what you mean by what you can do with your body. I know
Sorry,
where you're going
sorry.
with that.
No. Sorry. Did you just say you're pro-life?
Yes.
You know what pro-life means, right?
Yes.
You're not for, you're not for the woman's right to choose.
No. That's not what.
You're anti-abortion.
Yes. I am.
You're not for the woman's right to choose.
Well, I think actually that's the wrong way to put it.
I'll be honest, I didn't know that. I thought that he was a lot more, libertarian on that view, and you have utterly surprised me on that, because I'm pretty sure even ACT have they're for euthanasia, of course. They're for that woman's right to choose. So that is a very shocking revelation, and I think please elaborate even further.
Well, I think you that when I say that, I'm not saying this. This is what I'm trying to say, is like, I'm not completely against it, but I'm against it for the sake of just doing that. Like, if there's a reason, like a solid reason behind why that has to happen, then that's fine. But I think just because somebody got pregnant and they don't want the kid, I think that's not a good enough reason.
Well, I think there are scenarios where you're not capable to pay for it and to afford a child, and then it comes, young people are dumbasses. We're young. We sometimes say dumb. We sometimes say dumb stuff. We've been teenagers, so I think that especially you're more younger, you make dumb choices. So I think that it's a bit more of a broader case where you might have made that dumb choice. You should not have the punishment of having to deal with that choice for the rest of your life.
Well, I think
tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, well, that's their problem. I think that's because what happens though is I do agree to some extent to what you're saying. I don't know.
So you do.
I'm
So
a
you do
very
believe? So you do believe, in abortion, if if like, oh, God fucking forbid, there is, if the person in question,
Yeah,
like
we
that,
can't put
when
this in,
when
but
it comes
yeah,
to, no, I'll keep it in, of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
like
yeah.
God forbid, like you believe in that, absolutely,
Yeah, you don't.
yeah,
Yeah, you might
okay,
want to bleep the word, otherwise we'll get strikes.
yeah,
But no,
yeah,
like
like when it comes,
we'll pick up on that, and absolutely, I think that is one of the circumstances where it has, that there's that, because it's a circumstance that is uncontrollable. But I also agree with what you're saying with young stupid people and that, like, because on one hand I think, oh well, fuck them, because they've done stupid shit, they can deal with the consequences. But when that happens, then who foots the bill?
Cha-ching. That was the question I was going to ask you, but
It's
carry on.
it's me and you and the rest of the taxpayers have to foot the bill. So, I'm a very, I guess I'm flippy floppy with it, but that, I don't have a solid, stance on it. But yeah,
I think for this, it's sort of similar to, when it comes to climate change and it comes to especially the Te Treaty. I look at experts and people that are well versed in this field, and when it comes to, the abortion rights and a woman's right to choose, I think it comes to the person and the group that will be affected the most, and I prefer to listen to them and what their opinion is on that matter. And if it is, we believe in that right to choose, I go, that is what you believe in, because I've got no say in the matter. I've got no horse in this race. I am a man. Oh, sorry to say, I am M. I am not, anything other. So I don't have any horse in this race. So I
wow,
don't
yeah,
believe obviously, my opinion matters. I'm a I'm a person. But when it comes to something like that, when it comes to moral issues, even euthanasia, I don't think we'll touch on that because that's a bit, dark. But
mm,
even with euthanasia,
well,
I'm not really affected by that. Hopefully, I
mm.
won't get affected by that.
Well, and I think of course you're a man because you're not a woman, and you can only be a man or a woman.
Let's not get into that debate, please.
But
We did that. We did that.
obviously,
We went into the debate last year, and I deleted it because I thought, oh, this is too much. This is too much. So yeah.
no, but
So
you've obviously got the trans on each side, and then you've got all that freaky stuff.
let's move on. Okay. So yeah, I think. So obviously, I'm not surprised you're a bit floppy on that, and I'm not kind of accusing you on that, because I would kind of be in your case. It's just that I would view that, and I would look at experts and people that believe, that have knowledge and have studied this
Mm,
factor, and people that and groups that would be affected by this, and go, well, you
mm.
obviously have an understanding. I will not hang on your every word, but um, uh, uh,
Mm.
recognize
Mm.
your opinion. It's not the correct saying.
Well,
The next question when it comes to that, because you kind of already spoke about it, but you believe, you're kind of like 50-50 on that. Obviously, to the worst degree, you would support abortion, of course. And we'll move on to other things. Of course, this is going to be a long debate and a long discussion because it's a big topic here. Um, so if would you, so in that case that you would support, that you don't support abortion in any case, in all cases. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. That doesn't that isn't in this situation of those very severe conclusions. If you get my drift, would you then support programs and initiatives and funding that would support early childhood and support that family to be to raise that child and to fund that child through schooling, proper funding education, early childhood, and proper resources if that family couldn't afford proper benefits for that family that might not afford for nappies and general general miscellaneous things,
Well,
because that's the kind of thing that you're saying. It's on the company's dime,
well, it's on the country, yeah,
country's dime. Yeah.
but the thing is like, no, I wouldn't really support it
Hmm.
if I had a choice because I'm a dick to most people. I'm a dick.
It's really forthright.
So the thing is I would say, look, for young people that just want to do stupid shit, go right. Okay, well, this is your issue. You're not having any support from the state whatsoever.
But
If
then you have then that increases the likelihood of that child or even that family going into criminality.
well, then
That
they're going to go to
that
jail.
increases the likelihood. Okay, it goes to jail. You have more people going to jail, more younger people. That increases the cycle. You have to fund for more prisons and more jails, and fund for extra policing. There's more funding on the country's dime. That puts the burden on
Well,
taxpayers.
here's what I'm saying, right? Is when I say, look, when I'm saying there's no funding. That's how I would. That's how, when I'm saying, if I could have finished, is when I'm saying that's how I would want it. I'm not saying that that's how it can be because it's not feasible
Right.
to do it that way. That's how I'd do it because I just fucking want to fucking
It's not practical.
yeah. It's not practical whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm just a dick.
You don't have to be honest. Tell us what you really think.
Well, I know you greenies are like, you guys like to not be honest, but
Oof, big words. I'm not a greenie, by the way. I voted for the Greens. I wouldn't really call myself a
you're a
um.
greenie.
I,
If you vote for the Greens, you're a greenie.
okay,
I don't
fine,
care how
fine.
much
Okay, fine,
greenie you
fine,
are.
fine. Whatever. I think I would
You
more.
voted for somebody who
Sorry. Come again.
you voted for somebody who extorted migrant workers.
I did not. That's a technicality, of course. And then that the report didn't come out till later on. You cheeky fuck. I mean, you voted for big money interests. Okay, I could say the same thing for you. Anyway,
Well,
whatever. You didn't win on this. So okay, that's interesting.